Paquita. Paquita is a ballet in 2 acts and 3 scenes originally choreographed by Joseph Maslier to music by Eduard Dildeves and Ludwig Minkus. Paul Foucher received royalties as librettist. History. Paquita is the creation of French composer Eduard Dildeves and Paris Opera Ballet master Joseph Maslier. It was first presented at the Salle Le Pelletier by the Paris Opera Ballet on 1 April 1846 and was retained in the repertory of the opera until 1851. In 1847, Paquita was staged for the first time in Russia for the Imperial Ballet of St. Petersburg by Marius Petipa and Pierre Frédéric Mallarmé, being the first work ever staged by Petipa in Russia. In 1881, Petipa produced a revival of the ballet for which he added new pieces specially composed by Ludwig Minkus. This included the Paquita Passe de Trois for the first act, and the Paquita Grand Passe Classique and the Mazurka des Enfants for the last act. Petipa's version of Paquita was retained in the repertory of the Mariinsky Theatre until 1926. Petipa's 1881 editions for Paquita survived long after the full-length ballet left the stage. Today these pieces, particularly the Grand Passe Classique, are major cornerstones of the traditional classical ballet repertory and have been staged by ballet companies throughout the world. Petipa's choreography for the Imperial Ballet's production of Paquita was notated in the Stepanov method of choreographic notation around 1902. The notations were made while Petipa himself taught and rehearsed the great Anna Pavlova for her debut in the title role. Today, this notation is part of the Sergeyev collection, a cache of notations and other materials that document many of the works in the Imperial Ballet's repertory during the twilight of the Russian Empire. In 2001, director Brigitte Lefebvre asked French choreographer Pierre Lacquat to produce a revival of the full-length 2-act Paquita for the Paris Opera Ballet. Although Lacquat re-choreographed all of the ballet himself, he restored Joseph Maslier's original mime sequences and mise en scene, as well as Petipa's 1881 additions. Paquita was performed again by the Paris Opera in 2007. In 2014, the Stepanov notation expert Doug Fullington and Russian choreographer Alexei Ratmansky mounted a reconstruction of Petipa's final revival of Paquita for the Bayerisch's Staatsballet. Roles and original cast. Plot. The story takes place in Spain during the presence of Napoleon's army. The heroine is the young Romani girl, Paquita. Unbeknownst to Paquita, she is really of noble birth, having been abducted by Romani people when she was an infant. She saves the life of a young French officer, Lucien de Hervely, who is the target of a Spanish governor who desires to have him killed by Inigo, a Roma chief. By way of a medallion she discovers that she is of noble birth, being in fact the cousin of Lucien. As such, she and the officer are able to get married. History of the Paquita Grand Passe Classique. Gallery of Historical Images